Hi, my name's Craig. I'm the technical manager here at QNAP UK. Today I wanted to show the installation of FreePBX into a QNAP NAS. This is a voice over IP PBX system. It's completely free. There are some paid modules and options that you can add to it. It's made by a company called Sangoma. And to get the installation underway, there's a couple of things we're going to do first. So first of all, you've got to download FreePBX. So you can just go to the download option. And down here you can view all versions. So the one we want for the QNAP compatibility is just the top one here, so the 64-bit version, and we want the full ISO file there, so you can download that file. Once you've got it downloaded, put it into your QNAP NAS into one of the shared folders. It'll just make the installation go a bit faster. So I've already done that side of things. So here I've got a TVS-H1288X. So just to show you what I've done to prep the unit so far, is what I've done is I've created a shared folder called FreePBX. So this is where I will install the virtual machine to. And in the public folder, I've got an ISOs folder, and in here is where I've put the FreePBX ISO, which is the top one there at 2.2 gigs. That's the file that I'm going to use for the setup. Now it's very lightweight. You don't really need to give it a lot of resources, so I'll only give it 2 gigs of RAM. You could probably get away with 1 gig if it was a fairly small setup that you were going for. But we'll jump straight into Virtualization Station to go through how to set it up. So here I've already got a virtual machine running, which is pfSense, doing the firewall work I need it to do. To give you an idea of how it's set up, so over here in my network and virtual switch, I've got 2 virtual switches created. I've got one for the LAN side of things, currently assigned to whatever the NAS needs, as well as anything for the pfSense virtual machine I have. And I've got a pfSense WAN virtual switch down there, which we're not going to use for this. We're just going to use the top one that pfSense is already using, that the NAS is already using. This one's going to be fine for what we need to use it for. So if we go straight to Virtualization Station, maximize that. We're going to create a new virtual machine. So you can call it whatever you want. I'll call it FreePBX just because that's exactly what it is. The OS type, I'm going to change it to Linux, and I'm going to choose CentOS 7.4 because FreePBX is largely based on CentOS. I'm going to leave the boot firmware as legacy BIOS. I'm just going to give it all the cores just so the installation goes faster, and I'll give it 2 gigs of RAM. So the next option here is to do the CD image. So I'm going to browse to that public folder, to the ISO folder, and I'm going to pick that ISO file that we downloaded already. So we'll click that and click OK. As far as storage space, I might only give it about 150 gigs. It really won't need that much, but I'm going to allocate that anyway. And the virtual switch I'm selecting here is the top one there, the virtual switch 1. So not the one I've got allocated to the WAN port on the pfSense there. I'm going to give it the LAN IP address because this is just going to be for the internal LAN. And if I need to open up any ports through to, for say, SIP trunks or anything like that so that I can get physical numbers passed through, we can do that later. So that's all the settings you really need to do in here. And click OK. Oh, sorry, I forgot to set the location. So we're going to set the location as FreePBX, and then we're going to click OK. So that's now ready to go. So what we can do now is we can click into it. It says the virtual machine's powered off, so we're going to click Start. There's no extra settings to change within the virtual machine. Everything can be done directly through this interface now. So the top option is what's recommended at the moment, which is FreePBX 15, which has the asterisk version 16. So asterisk is basically the part of FreePBX that's going to do all the SIP communication. It's sort of the engine that drives things like phone calls, connections between devices, managing extensions, things like that. So we're just going to push enter on the top option. And I'm going to choose the top option here for the graphical installation so that we can see the installation options as we go through. And the option now is just for FreePBX standard, so I'm just going to push OK on that one. So it's going to go off and do the initial setup. So it's going to launch into the graphical installation tool, where we can follow through some of the options that are on screen, and also set things like the root password, so we can get that done even before it launches into the installation itself. Okay, so there we go. It's going off and doing the installation. So here at the top, we've got the root password, and it says the root password is not set. So while the installation's happening, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to change the password to something a bit more secure than the default option that's there. Okay. So we're going to click done. Now the root password is set. So you can see down here the progress meter. It's going to install effectively 726 modules. So it's going to take about 5 minutes to run through all of those. So what I'll do now is I'll just go quiet. We'll let this play through, and we'll put it in fast forward for you so that it can skip through this part a bit quicker for you guys watching it. Okay, so there we can see that the FreePBX installation has completed, and it just wants us to do a reboot to get ready to use it. So we'll click reboot on that. So now it's just going to boot through. We see here there's a menu selection. If you've got multiple versions installed, you can select them. It will auto boot from the default option though. So here it is, it's going to boot up. At the end of this, it will ask us to log in. Once we've logged in, it will tell us the IP address. So the login here is root, and the password is whatever you set it to during that interface screen we were at during the installation where we set the root password. So we can type that in here so that we can gain access. And now we're logged in and connected. And I'm going to leave this window open for now, but I'm going to remember the IP address it's given me here, and I'm going to type that into the web browser. So 10.10.0.135, that's what my DHCP server has given out. So if I go 10.10.0.135 and log into that, it's now got a basic wizard to set up most of the other features. So anything that you do in here, anytime a task is performed, it's going to pop up back in this interface here. So as we enable services and things, it's going to tell you about that back here if you want to check the status of those. So for the admin username, I'm just going to use admin. You can set a password here. There we go. So this is for access into the web interface rather than the console of the machine. You can set up an email address, so I can say uksales@qnap.com. And you've also got a system identifier. So this is really the name of the virtual machine. So I'm just going to call this FreePBX. And you've got different options here for the update schedule. So I'm just going to click Setup, not save that password, and I'm going to log into the administration. So this is the password and username we just created. So admin and your password that you just typed in. There we go, asking if you want to activate. I'm going to say no for now, but you can activate that. There's going to be a few pop-ups for just some of the things that Sangoma offers. I'm just going to skip all of these just so we can get to the dashboard. It's asking for system language, time zone, things like that. So we'll just click submit. Those ones are correct. It's asking about the firewall, so we're going to continue to enable the firewall. It's just letting you know what it does, how it works. So it's saying that the firewall will be automatically enabled at the end of this process. It's recognized that the IP address of my local machine is the one that's adminning it, and would I like to be trusted? So I'm going to say yes to that. And it's saying, should your whole network be trusted? So you've got the option here to say yes or no to that. It has switched the yes and no buttons around here compared to the previous screen, so pay attention there. If you do want to select yes here, it's not in the same place. So we're going to say yes for trusting that network. Best security advice might be to say no, but I'm just going to say yes for the purpose of this demo. And do you want to enable the responsive firewall? So this is especially important if you have remote users of your PBX. So I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to say you can automatically configure all of the asterisk IP settings. So we'll say yes. There we go. So we've got the SipStation Trunks free trial. If you want to, you can sign up. I'm going to say not now for now. And now we're logged into the dashboard. So here on the dashboard, we get a overall status. If I go back to the main screen, we can see why some of these are not ticked. So I didn't do the system registration yet, so I will add that later. But down here, we can see some things that we've added some things. The firewall is currently in delayed startup mode. So until the virtual machine has been running for 5 minutes, it will not start the firewall. And it will pop up with a message once that has happened. So that's why we're seeing that things like the system firewall has an alert, it's starting up, so it will not start for 5 minutes, and asterisks here you will get a warning if asterisk has not been running for a full 10 minutes. It also gives you some important information here, like the bind ports for the different SIP protocols. So the sort of legacy protocol would be CHAN SIP, and the newer one would be CHAN PJ SIP. So if you are wanting to use CHAN SIP, it may be beneficial to go into the settings and change CHAN PJ SIP away from 5060 and then move CHAN SIP to 5060 if you do want to use it. It just saves adding a port on every device that you want to connect because the default SIP port is 5060. So if you are setting up your extensions as CHAN SIP, that's just one thing to note, that you might want to switch those around. Okay, so just to give you an overview of really how much resource it's using, if we go back to Virtualization Station, we can see it's barely using anything. I did give it 2 gigs of RAM. You can see here it would absolutely be fine with 1 gig of RAM, but I don't have any clients connected. If you were going to be deploying this for quite a number of users, the extra RAM might be coming in helpful. One last bit of advice I would give is make sure that you do all the updates. So what you would do there is go to the admin option at the top, go all the way down to the updates option there, and if you come along to module updates at the top, you can click check online. So right now nothing says that it needs an update, but when you do the check online option, it's going to come back that quite a few different items will need upgrades. So there we go, we've got all those different ones. So if you want to get ahead of the game rather than waiting for your schedule that you set during installation to find those, you can do those, and you can say I want to upgrade all. It's telling you that all modules marked will be upgraded. Click process to run update. So we can just click the process option there. And if we scroll to the bottom here, we've got a confirmation that all these different items are going to be upgraded. So it's going to go off and download all those updates and add them into the device. You may find that you have to come back and do that check online thing a few times. Some items will only update when other items have been updated. So sometimes you might have to run that 2 or 3 times just to get every module on the system updated to the very latest version. Okay, hopefully you found that useful. That's basically how it's all set up with FreePBX. There's a lot of extra options within FreePBX. So there's a lot of videos online that talk about how all that works. And just one last summary of how the virtual switch looks. So the only thing we've done now is we've basically added a FreePBX virtual machine to share the virtual switch one that another one of my virtual machines is already using, and it's also the NAS main IP address for me to gain access. But the FreePBX and the pfSense both have their own IP addresses. So that's really the last summary. Okay, if anybody does have any questions, please let me know, and we'll try to cover those off for you. We're pretty quick at responding. So if there's any other suggestions for any other videos that you want us to do, please do let us know. This video was actually a response to somebody that requested how to set up FreePBX on a QNAP. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next one.